Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly collective readings. Good to see you. Let's switch to a different camera so you can have a little bit more space. That one was really tight. So today is going to be interesting because I'm just testing new setup. I don't have my traditional camera. I'm using a couple of different things, so let's just have fun with it. I've been like in a new country, in a new place for like 2 days, and I'm doing a live stream. So here's to experimentation. If you're brand new here, I just want to welcome you. This is a weekly collective reading, and what I do each and every week is show up to help us tune in to what's going on right now in the 7 days ahead, and then also we'll do a special topic today, which was actually quite good. It was what we need to focus on, what we don't need to focus on. I think we can all use that. So without any further delay, let's get started. I had a lot of channel messages that came through. Let me just see if this graphic is working. I'll set it up while we're talking. But what came through this morning was discernment. If I could kind of wrap it up in one word, it's really making sure that you know who you're talking to, that you're not sort of saying things that you shouldn't say, and we really want to be mindful of like energy around trust, okay? So I'm not going to worry about the graphics. I'm just going to worry about being with you and talking to you because that one's not ready. So here's what I wanted to discuss. So literally, as I have some tea off to the side so I don't spill it, this morning it was very much about spilling the tea. And it almost felt to me like an exit interview. So for those of you that are in a corporate job, sometimes they want to call you in and ask you, like, what was it about your experience here that made you not want to be here? Specifically for those that are in that, but this is really for anybody. We'll talk about some other ways that an exit interview could happen, but I just watched someone say, well, let me tell you, and they let it all out and it felt very good, but I wondered after watching this if they were burning some bridges and maybe some of the things said in confidence shouldn't have been said there. So sometimes it's worth saying something just very directly without giving someone's like, this person did this. You could just say, I felt like I wasn't supported. Things were promised that didn't come true. Just hit the high notes without pointing fingers, if that makes sense, okay? It was super specific, but nonetheless, something you want to be mindful of. And this can be true in relationships when you're breaking up. It's any sort of breakup where there's just this moment where you feel like, let me tell you all of the reasons why. Maybe not. It feels good, but is it really going to help? That's what you have to ask yourself, okay? So that was one specific thing that came through. The other one was literally I heard someone say, you're being a little curt or you're being a little familiar. So it was in the context of that conversation, but this could just be general messages. So if you're frustrated and you feel like you have to get something out to whomever it might be that's in front of you, think about how it would be to receive it. Think about making sure that you haven't jumped to a conclusion before you have all the information. And really, the general theme on all of this is less is more. But the familiar piece is important. So if there's someone of a certain stature or someone that you don't know, if you get too casual or too familiar, that could also blow up in your face. So these were super specific details, and I wanted to share them. The other thing, and it thematically worked with all of this, was around loyalty. And some of you might have some things in your life where loyalty is being put to the test. And these are the moments where you really find out who you can trust, who you can't, and all of those things. So just take it slowly, particularly when it comes to communication. And I kept seeing this need, like it was like a battery, just the need to recharge. So for those of you that have been running on empty, get some extra sleep, try not to work too hard. There does come a point where there's diminishing returns. This is something I had to kind of make my mind up with as I was going through this month. It was impossible to do all of the monthlies and make a very big move. So I was like, something has to give. I have to focus on health. I have to rest. I have to focus on logistics. So there might be some trade-offs that you have to do, but in the long run, you're going to deliver products that are better. You're going to feel better. It's a smart thing to do. Okay, so this one was also super specific. I saw what would be tantamount to bullying or harassment, and nobody was doing anything. So if there's somebody, and it could just be a clique too, where people are being excluded from things. So if you are bearing witness to someone who's being mistreated, excluded, or not supported, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to be the voice of reason. Somebody has to set things in the right direction. So if you're the one that is being bullied or not supported or ostracized, seek out proper channels of assistance because it didn't feel like it was right, and there might be some sort of legal action that you could take in the long run. So that's what I got with that. Then I said, keep at arm's length any sort of people in your life that are not keeping good company themselves. So you're only as good as that sort of the weakest link in that connection. Pay attention to the choices people make, because sometimes we're complicit when we support someone who is not doing what they should be doing or hanging around with people that aren't doing what they're doing. It's a lack of discernment on their part. So don't have a lack of discernment on your part. The other thing, super specific messages, I had to keep writing these down, was to look at the terms of contracts, which I think I mentioned in one or two of the dailies this week. So contractual promises, obligations, and requirements. Look at that fine print, get out the magnifying glass, talk to someone, negotiate. You have a lot of leeway and a lot of room, more than you might imagine. And you don't want to do something that you don't understand. So if you don't get it, ask, okay? Very, very specific stuff. That happens more and more lately as I do more mediumship. So I hope some of that resonated with you. Apollo's in the background. I don't have a separate camera set up for today. So thank you for just being patient as we're getting everything set up. We got a lot to talk about. I'd like to begin with 7-day forecast. But first and foremost, if you like what you see here, remember to hit the subscribe. It's free. It helps the channel grow. And I appreciate it as well. All right, let's go ahead. By the way, we have a goal today like we always do. So if you'd like to show a little bit of support, you can do so by hitting the target. Hello, we're on the other the other camera right now. You can hit the target and at the very top in the chat, and that'll help us make the goal for today. Okay, so I would like to begin with, let me just make sure on some of these, I'm going to test all of them to make sure. We're going to begin with a 7-day forecast, and the 7-day forecast allows you to basically see what's coming through tactically and practically for the week ahead. So let me choose a deck for today, and we shall begin. Little tight on space here, so be patient. This is just a temporary space for me. I appreciate you. All right, so we have coming through for the energy of today, which is Sunday. We have a great card. It's a time for you to spend time with people that you love, the 10 of Cups. And it doesn't have to just be family. Friends, chosen family is very much the energy of the 10 of Cups. So a great day for networking, a great day to have dinner, breakfast, or just spend some time with the people that you love, or to try to meet some new people. You absolutely can do that in this moment in time as well. By the way, these are not my certificates. I'm staying with a friend. I'm in someone else's house, so thank you so much. But I saw someone commenting on that, so no, I'm just with a friend here. So 10 of Cups. This is also a great time for you to prioritize we were talking about discernment, who you can trust, who you love, all of that. Really make sure that you're getting what you're giving, that there's reciprocity, that the energy is flowing. And if it is, great. And if it isn't, then this is a moment in time for you to really focus on making sure that you're getting what you need out of these sort of connections. This is also a day where you can state intentions, requirements, and desires when it comes to the people in your life as well. Okay? All right, so let's see what's coming through in the rest of the work week. Starting off with Monday, we have King of Wands. This is a good day to talk about business matters. So for many of you, this can be very on the nose. If you're at work and there's something that you need to get into writing or set into motion, this is the time for you to do that. This is also about getting in charge of your own life and being brave. Look at that beautiful lion in the background. Following your passion, speaking up, taking action. Monday is absolutely a day to do all of the aforementioned. The other thing here is to get clear on what it is that you want. If you don't know, nobody else is really going to be able to figure it out for you. And this is a moment for you to imagine the possibilities. We sometimes forget with the King of Wands that it really boils down to dreaming, imagining, and thinking beyond what's obvious, beyond what's in front of you. You don't have to do the status quo, all right? And you absolutely have the power, the wherewithal to make it happen. This is one of the best boss cards, second only to Emperor and Empress energy, okay? Let's move on and see what's coming through on Tuesday. As we go to Tuesday, we have 3 of Pentacles in the reverse position. And for many of you reviewing, revising, editing, you're very close to the finish line. This is the good thing with the 3 of Pentacles. So I mentioned looking at the fine print. Some of you might just be doing that, making sure that you understand it, that the level of perfection, the level of just completion is where you need it and where you want it. This is also a day to rewrite, revise, review, and edit. 3 of Pentacles is also connected to school, learning, and releasing lessons in your life. So if there's something that you're tired of seeing repeated time and again, now would be a great time for you to basically just say, you know what, I want to release this, let's do this, let's let it go. People may also come to you for advice, mentorship, etc. And if you're ready and willing, there are mentorship opportunities, coaching opportunities, but make sure that they're willing and ready to do the work, because it's a lot of work for you to step into a mentor role as well, okay? Let's move on to Wednesday. All right, on Wednesday we have Temperance in the upright position, choices, patience, not rushing yourself, not letting other people rush you either. So sometimes people just really want something done now because of an arbitrary deadline that they were given, or maybe that they promised without checking in, without asking themselves, is this even possible? And for all of these moments, it's important for you to stand your ground and sort of say, you know what? It's your choice. It's your decision. I don't need to kind of throw everything up in the air just because of that. Keep your calm, keep your cool, and try to keep people around you in that same sort of frequency. You may also need to make sure that you're happy. We see usually 2 different chalices in this. Here we can see the sun and the moon. And it's asking you, are you a leader or a follower? Because the sun is basically the glue, the leader in the energy of of our solar system. The moon is a satellite. It follows things. It follows the sun and the earth. Its sort of orbit is affected by both. But are you leading? Are you following? What do you want to do? There's some questions that you need to ask yourself at the very beginning of the day. And by the way, we're at the middle of the week. I forgot to put the marker up. So for Wednesday, just make sure that you know what it is that you're doing. And if something happens, you keep your cool, calm, collected energy, because that's going to help in the long run. Okay? Let's go ahead and move on. Moving to a very interesting day here. As we go on to Thursday, we have both the Death card and the Wheel of Fortune. Changes, growth, movement in the sort of areas of work, personal growth, finance. It could be a challenging or difficult time for you in work, or just trying to get a handle on your money. And this is a time to say, you know what? Whatever I was doing before, it's not working now. What can I do to make changes and make better choices overall? This is also a day for you to decide, is it worth it? Sometimes we get, money, payment, recognition, but the trade-off for the work that we put into it, it may not be actually worth it in the long run. So we're also calibrating what is valuable to us and whether we're feeling valued and appreciated by others. These things are questions only you can answer, but getting a little more tactical and practical with that. And some things might just be coming to a close, because the Wheel of Fortune is cyclical, and so is death and rebirth. But I like that we see both ends of the spectrum on this death and rebirth card, and it's showing you that this is just the tip of an amazing iceberg, okay? All right. There also might be something like a job that's terminated, an opportunity that ends. Something is clarified here, and it's either going to start or stop. You're also going to need to make some major decisions by the end of the week. So when we're looking at the energy of Friday, we have justice in the upright position. And in this sort of situation, you may not have a lot of time. Someone might say, I really need to know right now, are you in or are you out? And you could waffle on this forever, asking yourself, what about this? What about that? I don't know. And this card is reminding you that there just comes a point in time where you have to trust yourself. If there's something that is unjust, get a lawyer, fight for it. You have a good chance with the Justice card in the upright position. This is also about achieving better balance in your life. So if you have to make a difficult choice, I made a bunch in this past month. I need to do this. I can't do that. I'm going to focus on this person. Whatever you need to do, your decisiveness and your boundaries are really going to be essential to make sure that this goes swimmingly and that everything goes as planned, okay? So there you go. Also, there just may be a lot of things coming into focus clearly because there is a sense of clarity with that card too. Okay, focusing now on next Saturday. We have Four of Wands in the reverse position. It's an opportunity for you to ask yourself, how committed am I? Because ultimately, even though this is a non-traditional illustration, Four of Wands can show marriage, partnership, and those sort of strong bonds that are connected when you really love and trust somebody. You may be at a point now where you're asking yourself, again, what if we don't do this, then what? So I feel like it's leveling up or moving on. You might also be missing this in your life and thinking to yourself, I wish I had a better or stronger group of friends or colleagues or peers. So this is also an encouragement to be decisive and go out there and network. It doesn't happen overnight. As someone who's also resetting things, and you have to be open to new experiences and meeting new people. So I have to make a whole new set of friends, right? So you're in good company. You just have to put yourself out there and be a little bit more outgoing and know that everybody had a first day, a first date, a first conversation somewhere, sometime. So this is just your turn at bat, right? Okay. And then finally, as we're taking a look at this upcoming, a week from today, Sunday, we have Seven of Swords. Being honest with yourself, being honest with others. It's one of the hardest things. Now, there are some things that we want to talk about after I take this drink of water, but I highlighted them earlier, which is be mindful of the audience. Not everything needs to be said, and the manner in which you say things can really color the receipt of said feedback. So make sure that you are giving yourself an opportunity, like I said, to put yourself in the other person's shoes and think, if I was hearing this, how would I feel, right? This is also, of course, somebody that could be trying to get away with something. So the contractual piece that I saw in my visions and dreams would be something I want you to focus on. Wait a second, what does this mean? Or you changed this from our first conversation. Hold people to account. Don't sign even if they're pushing you if you don't understand or you don't like it. Also, don't take the bait like a smoke screen. There could be someone around you that's like, look over here, and they're doing something over there. And so this is about paying attention. And remember what I said about someone that was doing something wrong. It could be any form of, like I saw harassment or bullying, but it could also be abuse. It could be abuse of power. I love that this crow is squawking in the foreground. It's sounding the alarm. Sometimes you have to be the one that sounds the alarm. It's not always fun, but sometimes it is necessary. And we've all been in a situation where, well, maybe not all of us, but I've definitely been in a situation where someone has mistreated me and someone else comes in and says, hey, stop it. It's very good to have an advocate. That person didn't know me anything, but it's great to have the support. So either seek the support or be the support. Don't take the bait. Don't spill out too much tea when you're talking, and be honest with yourself and others. That's the important thing with the Seven of Swords, okay? Great. All right. So let's do some highlights for the week and any challenges. I think today's an amazing day. So as we're looking at this Sunday with the 10 of Cups, chef's kiss. Monday's looking really strong, so is Friday, because you have community, you have decision making on Monday, you have also like a decision made and better balance by the end of the week. You have two cards energetically surrounding balance this week because you have that sort of juggling energy a little bit in here on the Temperance card, and then literally scales for justice. So if something doesn't feel right, if something isn't adequate for you, then absolutely speak up. The most challenging days, there's two of them. Thursday, because accepting that something's come to a close or an end could be difficult, or ending something. You could be the one that's just saying, you know what, I think this is over, whatever this is. And then your decision to act upon that becomes really, really important, okay? And then, of course, a week from today on Sunday, where it's just about don't get tempted too. The Seven of Swords can also be a voice in your head where you're telling yourself, you know what, no one's going to notice. I can get away with this. They're going to notice. Again, I always think of that the sort of meme on TikTok where it's like, don't do it. They're going to notice. That's that card. They are going to notice. It does come out eventually, and it isn't worth it in the long run. And I don't have an Apollo cam, but I do have Apollo in the background. So why don't we give him a little scratch, and then I'll get into the next section. Hey, buddy. How you doing back here? Good boy? Yes. Turn you around so people can see you. All right. I'll eventually get everything set up, but baby steps, right? All right. So we just got through the channel messages, the 7-day forecast, and now I'd like to do the elements. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to have to do a quick... I'll just do it in real time. It's fun. We'll watch. All right, now we're going to do the elements. Fire, earth, air, and water. Let me go ahead and get everything shuffled here. We'll use a different deck. Fire, earth, air, water. They're all reversed. I'm going to read them as upright or give you the path to the upright on all of these. So again, bear with me as I switch from cameras here. All right, we're going to start off with the fire signs, temperance. Here we go again with the balancing act. But what I like about this temperance is the protection that we see overhead with that sort of parasol or canopy. There's always angels on temperance typically. So spirit's coming through trying to give you the protection that you deserve, but it could feel challenging for you to sort of either ask for help, receive help, or just sort of allow people to be there for you in the way that you want them to. So know this, you deserve it, you can do it, but it's sort of like, I don't know why do we have such a hard time just saying, yes, you can help me, I will I will allow for that. I don't know, but that's what this card is encouraging you to do, is receive help, don't overreact, make sure that everything is balanced and feels right for you, and then look to the path beyond you. It's not in this temperance card, but the traditional one, you often see the angel in front of a path towards the sun in the background. So things can get better, they will get better, and it's important this week to stay calm. It's kind of like all of those signs in the UK, mind the gap. It's very like, take care of yourselves, don't freak out, look at this, but like just be mindful of it. It's not something that needs to be problematic as long as you're paying attention. The other thing here is spirit speaks in a calm, whispery sort of voice, and if you are too busy in your life, you're going to have a hard time tuning in. We see a woman out here in nature. In order to get that feeling of protection and connection, allow yourself to slow down a little bit, to tune in. It's one of the, not the only ways, but one of the best ways to kind of to connect with spirit, okay? Overall, we like temperance. It is spirit coming through, showing you something, but not bombastically. It's the subtle inner feeling that you have. Listen to it. Don't second guess it, okay? So Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, you have a pretty good week. Temperance is one of the best cards you can get. The reversal is really more about the impatience or the rushing. Don't get rushed. Don't rush yourself. Let's go from fire to earth. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So we have the lovers reversed. Discernment is what this is about. You either feel it or you don't. There could be someone in your life that really wants to connect with you, really enjoys your company, but you may not feel the same way, or you feel a sense of exhaustion afterwards. You're allowed to say no. And if you are being set up and you're not feeling the connection, you can't fake that connection. You either feel it or you don't. And this card is really encouraging you to be honest with yourself and be honest with others, okay? There could be an unexpected connection coming in, someone who is interested in you, and it could be beyond just love and romance. They could say, hey, I think you'd be great for this job, or hey, I would just like to hang out with you. So we have affection and connection coming through with lovers reversed, right? The other thing with this is it's magnetic, but we doubt ourselves sometimes. And when the Lovers is reversed, it's saying, it's like self-esteem. If you don't feel the value and worth which inherently you have and others can see, you will feel a sense of friction, and things are going to be unnecessarily harder than they need to be. So love yourself, accept yourself, be discerning on what you choose and whom you choose to spend time with, and know that there could be some unexpected love or sort of like friendship that wants to knock at the door this week. So you get to be the judge. That's the big takeaway for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. All right, let's move on to the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We have the Sun card in the reverse position. So rebirth, you saw that on the death card this week. This is another version of that because there's normally a little baby on a horse with the Sun card. This is a chance for you to really just step into your power, release something, launch something, allow things to start to move in a new direction. This is also like, if we look at, it's kind of like the part 2 of the Empress reverse, because sometimes an Empress reversed is trying to control something. The Sun wants to be set free. It wants to be birthed. So I think you're closer to completion than you might realize. You're closer to the finish line. Other people can see it more clearly than you. We see her eyes obscured by this bird. It's trying to tell her, you're worth this. So really your mantra this week is, you're worth it. There could also be a person in your life that's questioning your authority. The Sun card in reverse can be a parent or authority figure that's coming through and trying to take a grab back of power or influence. So don't let them do that, okay? But ultimately, not just a good card, a great card. Like the Sun, it requires stepping into a sort of, what's the best word for this? A moment of being very much seen and heard. It's conspicuous. And for those of you that are a little shy or shy away from that kind of visibility, why? Why not just allow yourself to be out there and to receive all the love and support that you deserve? That's my encouragement anyway. Okay, finally moving on to the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. We have 3 of Pentacles in reverse. We have the cute little parrots here working together, or at least 2 parrots and a person. But teamwork makes the dream work. And so you don't have to do this all on your own, particularly when it comes to construction, school, work. There might be a project in front of you that just requires joint sort of like support and expertise. I was trying to think of what everyone's bringing, and it's really knowledge. And it's good when we know like that each of us doesn't know it all. Why not let other people join in? Much like we were talking about earlier, this is also connected to graduating, learning, college. If there's something that you want to learn, this is the perfect time to do it. And if there's something that you need to get fixed, again, I feel like you're so much closer to the finish line than you might realize. 3 of Pentacles is a card of recognition, completion, and also publishing. So for those of you that want to put something out there, it's looking pretty good, get a final set of eyes on it since it was reversed, get the revision done, and then you can hit send. So overall, pretty good week for everybody. Thank you for giving me a chance to tune into all of that. Now we can actually go into the special topic for today. And as you know, the special topic was a pretty good one. Let's take a look at the exact wording. I always like to do that before I start to pull the cards. So as I put here, it's what to focus on and what to ignore. So we're going to look at if there's blocks that are coming through in your life and why these blocks are making an appearance. And then after we do that, we'll also see if there's something that you're missing. So I'm looking a little bit at how you've been putting your attention to people, places, and projects. And I'll do my best to work with the space here. So let me go ahead and get things sorted out and we'll begin. Good to see everybody, by the way. I hope you're doing well. And wow, we have a lot of people showing up today, so welcome. It's good to see you. I hope you're all doing well. This is going to be, like I said, my bumpiest of the sort of like readings because I don't actually have all of my cords and equipment and everything here. Like I'm not using my main camera, so thank you for understanding. But I have a good, strong internet connection at my friend's house, so that helps. Okay, let's take a moment to tune in. Imagine that you're sitting at the beach, that the sun is shining directly overhead, and that you have an opportunity right now to basically let go of everything. This Because in my experience, you can view the sand as like a sieve. And if there's something heavy, something that you don't want, you can just let the universe absorb it. Let the sun come through now instead and connect you to source. And let's welcome in angel spirit guides and ascended masters. Okay, so I would like to begin with a catalyst card, but I'm going to have to set up the graphics. So while I'm doing that, the catalyst, of course, is basically the way that we connect to what it's kind of like a mini version of this reading today. It's the so what energy. So here we go, back to live mode. We have the Five of Cups coming through for the catalyst. The catalyst is saying, if you change your perspective, everything after that can benefit. You either can look at all the things that have gone wrong. This is often a card of grieving loss, grieving that you've made a mistake. Maybe, oh gosh, why did I do this? Why did this happen? Now what am I going to do? But meanwhile, there's two cups that are ready to be filled right in the background, which can represent love, relationships, new people. And if you're ready to take that bridge over the troubled water, this is a perfect time to do just that. And it's okay to feel your feels right now. If you ignore it, oftentimes it gets much, much worse, okay? So whatever you need to do to relax, release, and really allow yourself to tune in to the possibilities, I think that's what you want to do in this moment in time. All right, let me take a drink and then we'll talk about what's coming through and what you could be focusing on. Okay, so as I'm taking a look at I'm going to take my picture off too so we can see it. So as I'm looking at everything in front of us, what you should be focusing on, what you should ignore. You can't ignore a decision. Justice at the center reversed. She's once again coming through and saying, so sorry, you're going to have to make your mind up now. So there is something in front of you that requires your attention. It could be around relationships as well. So you can't ignore that. I also think that many of you need to pay better attention to general health. We have the Ten of Swords here, which can be burnout, pain, etc. So don't ignore a decision. Don't ignore relationship problems. Don't ignore anything that's an ache, a pain, or might be a burnout symptom, okay? Because that is going to make life difficult. What you also want to kind of embrace, the flip side of this, is that when it comes to a dream, now is the time. We have the love card coming through here, the Six of Cups. It's just titled a little bit differently here. So this is a chance for you to actually, you can get what you want and you can do it with people around you. So I think relationship energy and partnership energy is very much coming through. Those are some highlights. Let's break it down card by card because I have more to talk about. So don't idly stand by if something isn't right. So we talked about a previous example, which is you're taking note of bullying, harassment, or bad behavior. Obviously speak up and protect other people, advocate people, not just, it doesn't have to just be a kid, it can be anybody in your life that is feeling, cornered. You can stand up and say, stop it to the bully. That's how bullies get stopped. Somebody has to stand up to them. There's also something in your life where you think, for some of you, I don't need or I don't want this. If you don't need it, if you don't want it, just set that out there and say thanks but no thanks. Or just more strong is just to say no thank you. I'm doing this instead, or this is my choice, this is my priority, because they won't talk you out of it. Sometimes thanks but no thanks also sounds a little bit curt, so thank you, I appreciate it, no. You don't even have to say but no, just no, thank you very much. Some of you might be deciding to quit, get divorced, or sever ties. Justice reversed is about the other side of the connections, especially since we had the Knight of Cups on top of that. So it's okay. That's part of life, is basically sometimes you come together, sometimes you fall apart. Isn't that some of what I talked about with the volcano that I picked up on in dreams yesterday? So for today. So I mentioned that, there's a couple things to think about with this. Movement and I feel like you just can't avoid what's already coming. You know what to do. It's just a question of what you're going to do to make it happen. And then the sort of example of lava flowing through things is that whatever was blocking you before, it won't anymore. I really feel like just deciding I don't want this is enough. And then the flow goes even faster. But it's already moving slowly. So if you make a decision, the floodgates are open, and anything in front of you that was previously just not connecting, it's now going to be gone. Okay. So crossing this card obviously was the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is about making sure that you feel a sense of joy, excitement, support, love, and that you're getting what you're giving. And if you're not giving what you're getting, if you're not getting what you're giving in love, relationships, and even work, then the Knight of Cups is saying, it's my turn. I need this. I want this. Or I don't want this. And you might just actually be asking someone else, do you want to take this to the next level? Because if not, you might have other goals, and that's okay. So either asking for commitment, clarity, etc., or choosing the opposite, which is I need to move in a new direction. I need to try something different, okay? All right, as we take a look here at the deep past, we have the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles comes through on the heels of challenges. So some of you have had some challenges with finances or health, and it takes time to grow. And it's frustrating when it takes time to grow, because I think everybody wishes that things would just happen like that. But if you've ever had a broken bone, it takes time for the bone to mold and heal again. It takes time for the bruising to kind of go away, but your body can heal. If you've ever been in debt, you know that it takes time to change your spending habits, to pay back bills, to kind of get to a point where your head is above water. But this card is showing me that you're already headed in that direction, provided that you continue to make some smart choices, okay? Three of Wands. This is a beautiful partnering card to all the different times that we were getting the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Wands is saying, dream it, then do it. You literally see her opening up her book of spells or her book of dreams, and she's pointing to that and saying, I believe in myself, I believe in that, I'm going to do this. There's no doubt here. She's very much in High Priestess mode, which I love, okay? There also might be an advantage to moving, being the one that moves forward, literally traveling or moving, or being the one that just picks up the phone and says, let's do this. All of the different types of moving or movement is comprised in what I'm seeing here. So now is the time for that as well. And if there's a question of when it comes to the Three of Wands, there's an immediacy to it. There's a now. So the time is now. That's the short and the long of it. All right, what could get you pulled in the wrong direction? A couple of things. So Justice is a card of balance. So is the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles reminds you that, and it was reversed by the way, if you try to stretch that sort of rope or rubber band too thin, it will snap, it will break. And you have your last sort of amount of give that you can give as well. I feel like some of you are very close to that, because when I'm looking at the energy of self, it's the Ten of Swords reversed. So please take care of yourself. Please know that there is a power in saying no, no thank you, not now, or I choose this. You can also prioritize. This is my focus today, this is my focus tomorrow. But pulling yourself in too many directions, or all the directions, is not going to work, okay? Choices need to be made. So also, if there was someone in the past where you ignored that they didn't give you what you were worth, you really can't afford to do that anymore. We have the Ace of Swords in the reverse position, and this is in the near future. So many of you are at a point where you might need to sit down and sketch it out. Whatever's been floating around, whatever you've been procrastinating on, now Spirit is coming through and saying, what are we waiting for? If not now, then when? What will it take to get you committed, to get you ready to do it? Because it feels like things are ready to be signed on the dotted line. Now, if you looked at something and thought this isn't fair, this isn't right, push back, good. I thought that there would be an opportunity 2 or 3 times as I've been looking at the cards today to negotiate a better outcome, including just the channeled message where I literally mentioned that if you don't like something, speak up, okay? Very, very much important thing here. Ace of Swords in reverse also can be deciding that you want to cut something out of your life, that you need to be direct with someone. And it's also a check in from the universe to say, again, when are you going to take action? If you say you're going to do it, do it. Sort of like walk the walk and talk the talk. But don't just sit around and hope that it's going to get better. I think one of the most challenging energies that I'm seeing in this moment is you, right now, how you're feeling. 10 of Swords. So I slept a little funny and I have a tight shoulder. Some of you might have like that, a pain or an ache. It could be chronic when we have the 10 of Swords, or it can be acute. Acute, you still want to get looked at. With the 10 of Swords in the reverse position, though, there are avoidable things in your life that will help you not get into this feeling of being trapped, feeling burned out, or being in pain. So sort of like historically, look at what has been exhausting you in your life. If there's a boss that you're always talking to and you walk in and out of the room and feel like you just lost 10 years of your life, or the breath was taken out of your lungs, this is a person where you really want to limit your connection, if not just like disconnect completely. It is reversed though. So for those of you that are feeling a little bit of chronic or pain or fatigue, it could be more of a flare-up than something that's going to persist, but take a day off, take care of yourself. This is also argument energy. So when I talked about earlier the person that was on an exit interview and they were basically trashing everyone, it's fun for a minute, but then it just shines poorly on you and it makes things rougher than they need to be. So with the 10 of Swords in reverse, Spirit is really saying, don't spill a lot of negative language. Don't take the bait when someone tries to get you into an argument. And maybe don't take things too seriously once you consider the source. Some people aren't worth the energy. They just aren't happy, or they don't try. And you don't need to have that sort of circulating around you. Okay, in the environment, we have the 6 of Cups here. On this deck, they just call it love. And we just see this beautiful connecting energy as well. Actually, no, this is the Lovers. Look like the 6 of Cups, but it's the Lovers. So with the Lovers here in the reverse position, same energy that I was talking about earlier. It's very, very much important for you to make sure that it is equally as positive for you as it is for the other person. Because I see someone here that's getting the better end of the bargain, or getting so much more. So go above and beyond to make sure that you're getting what you need as well. And you want to find someone in your life that meets your frequency. And that's what we see here, is someone that is meeting the vibe, meeting the spark. And either way that you look at it, these two people are vibing and connecting, okay? You are good enough, you are deserving, and I hope that you are believing of those things when something good comes to you. Because this is in the environment, so someone or something could be knocking at the door. But if you are too much in your headspace, you could miss an opportunity, and we don't want that to happen. At least I don't want that to happen for you. Okay, briefly taking a look at what's coming through in hopes, fears, and opportunities. Hard to see it because the card is on top of it. We have the High Priestess. And I know that these cards are a little bit out of use, so let's just do that. There we go. Okay, so High Priestess, hopes, fears, and opportunities. You can decide to manifest whatever you want. So if you want to be taught a lesson, you can. If you want to continue to suffer or struggle on something, you can. But this card begs the question, why? Why not entertain that something could be bigger, better, brighter, or more exciting than you imagined? This is also a moment in time for you to really lean into a newfound power, a newfound sort of like passion, and something great could come out of that. Some of you might be starting a side business, right? Some of you might be wanting to do something different. You see it well in advance of other people seeing it, and the act of seeing means that it can and it will happen. I know that it sounds kind of, lofty and crazy, but it's true. That ability to just dream it into action can very much be all that it takes. So believe in yourself. Okay, taking a look now at the potential outcome. We have the Nine of Cups card and it's reversed. Dreams can come true. This is a card of dream fulfillment, but it does require of you to be very much not getting sort of like beholden to your emotions. So in this card, we can see this person riding looks like a peacock, the kind of rare peacock that's an albino one. So what makes you unique, what makes you rare, makes you special. And sometimes we try to homogenize or sort of generalize ourselves so that we can be accepted by the masses. And this Nine of Cups in reverse is saying, when you are truly resonating in your unique power, your singular brand, that's what's memorable. And you can probably see it long before other people can see it in your life. So your happy ending, your happily ever after is still there. But you have to be ready and willing to see it, receive it, and embrace it. Okay? Let's expand the forecast, and we'll do it a slightly different way. I want to see what you might be missing in the different energies of health, wealth, love, and destiny. Okay? So I'm going to clear the table and use a different deck for this. And we're going to start off with the energy of health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. Wow, we got the Seven of Swords. So how do we fix that Seven of Swords? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about health. So with health, like I said, this is interesting. It's about honesty. And when the card is reversed, there typically is a moment of clarity where you understand, you know what? This isn't going to work for me anymore. This isn't working the way that I thought it would. And the more honest you are with yourself in this moment, and the more honest you are with others in this moment, the easier it's going to be. Some of you are also spending a lot of time on grief, grieving something that has come to pass, a pet, a loved one, an opportunity that went to someone else. It can be any number of things. And with this, I'm sorry, this is the Four of Cups. I thought it was the Five. But I'll talk about that for those of you that might be grieving something. If you stay constantly in the could have, would have, should have, you could miss something. And the Four of Cups, which is what this is, it's too fancy of a font here, but the Four of Cups is about missing the big picture. So both the 4 and 5 actually do share that in common, but the Four of Cups has a unique element to it, which is what you're looking for is probably right in front of you. It's a lot more obvious than you might realize. So allow yourself to explore something from a different perspective. It's not always going to be, the picture ending that we all think it will be. But if something amazing is happening and there's a little bit of rough edges in your life, it might be worth putting in the work and smoothing it out a little bit. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of live channeling, and then we're going to talk about, I'll pull some other cards for health. But one thing that I keep getting shown right now is listen. So this can be listen to what your body is trying to tell you. Like if there's a little tiny sharp acute pain, get that checked out sooner than later. It's also about listening to, what other people might be saying, seeing, or feeling, and making sure that when you go to a doctor, that they're listening to you. Also, if it's been a minute since you've gone to an audiologist, this could be a good time to get a hearing test or get your ears cleaned, or we do almost all the other parts of our body for annual physicals, etc. But unless you've had an issue, some people don't go to ENTs, and it's good. Just like an ophthalmologist is great for looking at the eye health, looking at the ear, the nose, and the throat are key. There's different names for that doctor. The one in Spanish makes me want to cry. It's so long. It's something like Ontorino or something like that. But like it's like ear, nose, throat. Those are the things that you really want to take a look at and make sure that you're not missing. Because for those of you that are going through seasonal allergies too, that's another thing that's coming up, is like an itchy throat. Food allergies could be a part of it. Environmental allergens could be a part of it. There might also be something that you wouldn't even know unless you get the test done, okay? Excuse me for that. But definitely don't underestimate the importance of getting something seen. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm picking up on. And I also want to look at my notes really quick and see if anything came through in dreams. Okay, so the interesting thing about, since I saw fire, for some of you it could also be inflammation. And inflammation comes through in multiple places. There can be internal inflammation. There can be inflammation that you see on your body or externally. And some of you might just be getting a rash or something of that nature too. So I'm getting very much, it's either something that you're eating or something in the environment, and that's probably why Spirit was very intent on going to like an ear, a nose, and a throat specialist, whatever it might be in your native tongue. That's what I'm being shown right now. Okay, let's move on from health to wealth. With wealth, we can get a little bit more into the big questions around today, like what should you be focusing on, what should you not? So I'm going to put the camera down for a second, and I need to get myself a lozenge, and then we'll move forward. If I can find one. All right, let's see. There we go. All right, so we were looking at wealth. For this one, I'm going to look at past, present, future. I want to look at it in a different way. And I'm going to keep this kind of general. I don't feel like I need to dig into all the subcategories. I want to play around a little bit more with format and mediumship on this one. Okay, so we'll begin with the past. So as we're looking here, and again, we're now in the energy of wealth. So in the past here, we have the power of partnerships, but I'm also getting the energy around loyalty. Remember I said don't burn any bridges? So I think that, like I said, there can be this rush or this temptation to just put it all out there. But ask yourself, how would I feel if this were going on? And if I can't take something back, what is it that I would pull out of this? Lead with love is how I would caption this, connecting to wealth as well. If somebody did something wrong, if you can coach from a place of protection, love, appreciation, it can be quite good. So if you have a coworker and you care about them and they're doing something that's not the right thing, just say, I don't want you to, I don't know if you know about this, but this and this is happening, and I would hate for them to take note of it. And you can just show, like, I've got your back, but you really should change this. So you can start from that angle, or always start, assume the best. Why did this happen? How can I help? Was I clear? If I wasn't clear, let it be very clear now that this is what I need. Let me know if I can be of any future support, but I expect it to be right after this. That's a nice way of calling someone out without, you're letting them know, don't do it again, but you're not having to say that like that. So using kinder but clearer language could be very, very helpful. And then also getting support and advice in work is great. You've also done a great job. We're in the past here of making alliances, which is why I want you to keep them. Because what I saw in dreams this morning, which have become increasingly more a source of mediumship as I've done more with mediumship, I just thought, oh, that person's really saying way too much. And it was going to be shared. And it wasn't, So for those of you that probably work in corporate, IT or HR, you know that a lot of these anonymous surveys are not anonymous because they have you log into the employee portal and things like that. So just make sure that you're being smart about the communication. Okay, for everybody, whether you're working, studying, this is going to be students, this is going to be retirees, every sort of phase of life right now, we have the energy around creation, the Empress. What are you doing to create something new? The sort of act of growth and this whole life energy, like it never stops. So even when you're retired, you want something else to stir and think about and look at. What are you doing right now that makes you feel creative, powerful, appreciated, elevated? Some of you might also be thinking about doing something on your own. Over the past 2 or 3 days, I've talked to multiple individuals that have a day job and then have something that they're doing on the side. They're getting a degree, they're starting a new company, they're trying to find their true job or dream. They're not allowing the filler, the day-to-day, to be everything. And I think that as humans, we sometimes need the carrot on a string. We need to focus on something bigger than the moment, for sure. I also like that this Empress is powerful because she loves what she's doing. So we see a cook loving the food, loving the process of cooking, and loving watching people eat it. You never want to eat from an angry cook. You never want to eat from a cook that's careless. You want someone who loves the food and the receipt of the food. So in your own work, it's very much the same way. If you can't find something that you love, the people, the effect that the product, service, or activity has on others, or literally just what you're doing, then you might need to recalibrate and ask yourself, why am I doing this? This is an empowered, creative, and loving card. So make sure that you're feeling those energies in what it is that you're doing with your time, your energy, your money, but also even your affection. It's all part of wealth. Resources are multifaceted. So make sure that it's worth it because you're worth it. Don't be afraid to walk in a new direction, to try something new. Here's the Fool heading into an uncharted path. So with wealth, some of you are thinking, I'm done with this. How about that? Some of you might be thinking about, I've done what I needed here. What if I try this? You don't necessarily have to leave for this, but you need a chance to feel creative and free. The Fool is very untethered. Some of you might just need a vacation or a break as well. Give yourself that if you feel like you deserve it. Pay attention though. Here, in this card, we don't have the little dog, but we have a Fool that's juggling quite a lot and he's walking towards the end of a cliff. Whether he's falling a few feet or a few fathoms is to be known. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on around you so that you can anticipate any pitfalls, any sort of blocks that are in front of you. Ultimately, I love Fool energy though, because what I see in this moment is it's this straddling the line of being serious about what you do. Like, okay, I can just do this down camera. Love who you are, love what you do, but be free enough and, open enough to just step into whatever, just go for it. Be bold, okay? The Fool, his biggest weakness is his biggest strength, which is sometimes he just jumps. Sometimes you just have to jump, okay? Partnership is the key to success. You need to love what you're doing. Don't be afraid to step into something new. These are the things to focus on. I want to pull one thing to not focus on here. What could hold you back from your ability to do all of this? Discernment once more. Choices. If I had to give it a single word, that's the 6 of Pentacles. Good choices bring you further. Poor choices could create delays, could create challenges. So make the best choice that you can in any given moment and know that this is right for you. If you're a job seeker, negotiate. If you're a student, make sure that you don't have too many credit hours in front of you. If you are already working the same thing is true, you can't have too much on your plate. When you start to say no in life, people want, it's almost like they value you more. They so want the yes. And sometimes when you very tactically decide no, they're like, oh, okay. And they're going to try a little bit harder in the future. You have more negotiating tactics and opportunities in front of you than you might realize. Okay? Okay. Let's move on. We're going to look at love and relationships. And don't worry, today I'm also going to go free flowing with this because I found that one of the things that's been working lately is just to allow readings to go in any path. It's good to kind of hit these high levels because I feel like many of you, when I don't, you're like, I wish you went further into this. So I'm meeting you halfway. But we don't have to only focus on that. There's so much that we can look at. Okay, so love. What's going on with love? It's shown up so many times. I'm curious to see. Okay, not bad at all, actually. So communication in relationships is going to be so important right now. We have the Queen of Swords here setting the tone. Communication can be a weapon or it can be something beautiful. Let's allow it to be something beautiful, not so weaponized. The Sun card showing that you either feel it or you don't feel it when it comes to the connection. Also, it's that highly attractive energy that has been coming through with like the Lovers. There could be someone in your life who either you notice across the room or they notice you. Stevie Nicks had this old song called Rooms on Fire, but she was using the metaphor that like whenever she stepped into the room with someone, it's like the whole room was on fire. And all she could pay attention to was that one person. It's an old song, but I like it. When you meet someone that you really, really vibe with, like you're gonna know. Some of you are already with them. Some of you are the person that someone else is looking for. So I do feel the potential for partnerships to really, really take off. Okay? And then don't compromise. Don't compromise. Four of Cups. This can also be, for those of you that are already in a long-term relationship, this feeling of settling or being so settled in that you're not feeling like the impromptu energy of a new relationship. So from time to time, shake it up. Surprise your partner. Ask them to surprise you. Because there's still a lot to love. And I love that this little, look how close it is to her hand. Someone's saying, don't forget. And this is a lot easier to deal with than like the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is like, you're not listening to me. Or you're not seeing me. You don't know me. The Four of Cups is, do you know me? Do I love you? Do I want? It's questioning, but it's not definitive. It's not declarative. So show that you love them. Ask them if let them know sometimes too, like that you could use a little bit more comments, validation, etc. There's a chance to shake things up a little bit. And some of you may just be bored. And if you're bored and your partner's not coming through for you, I'm just reading the cards. You get to decide what to do. It's completely normal and okay to be bored. So I just want to normalize that as well if you're going through that. Okay? I'd like to look at two things here, which is what's the biggest blessing and block, kind of going into the whole theme of what to pay attention to and what to ignore. So what's the good thing? What's the thing that's holding you back? We'll start with the good thing. Okay. Interestingly enough, the good thing here is that you might actually be getting to the other side of the Five of Cups. She's no longer looking at everything that's spilled. She's dipping her foot, literally, in the pool of possibilities. She's saying, okay, I may be ready for a rebound. I may be ready for someone or something new. So allowing yourself to get back out there. And then also for those of you that might have just lost someone or something or gone through something dramatic and traumatic, the Five of Cups in reverse is recalibrating, which I know I've talked about this week, and reframing the narrative. That was hard, but it doesn't have a complete, it's not all me. It took two to tango, right? So you're trying new things. What's the potential block? Overextension, impatience. This is a beautiful Seven of Pentacles. Step by step, day by day, leaf by leaf, we allow things to grow, and it takes time for them to grow. There's a lot going on beneath the surface, all the tubers, but we only see a little on top. He's taking his time. He's not rushing. Don't rush a relationship. If you recently got divorced or you're finding yourself alone because someone passed away, Seven of Swords is healing, but it takes time. There also might be some arguments this month around money and expenditures overall, time, energy, and resources. So be wise and just set your boundary. Say, please don't do that. Or like, we can't afford this. Or I'd like to do this, but I think we need to make a saving plan for this. Talk about saving for college and things of that nature, because I got the Three of Pentacles multiple times. Or finding a place in the world where you don't have to pay so much. I was talking to the friend whom I'm staying with about our experiences when we were going to our different schools. And like one semester of my graduate school, like it wouldn't, I'm sorry, let me rephrase this. The entire 2 years that I went there wouldn't even pay for a single semester now. So that was what, because there's a summer semester, it was like 2, 4, it was maybe 5 or 6 semesters now equate to one. That's such a burden for children now that you shouldn't have to go through that, half a decade later. I feel like we're making progress in the wrong, it's not progress, we're making choices as a world where it's harder for future generations. So do what you can to plan if you want to. Do what you can to plan for yourself so that you don't have to work forever. And plan together so that you can get what you want out of this, because we're looking at relationships. I'm just going to do a little bit of live channeling right now and see if there's anything that comes through for relationships. Correlation, correlate. So what I'm looking at here is just making sure that I'm being shown paperwork and it needs to line up. So for some of you, this isn't just about money. It's about what your long-term affairs are going to look like. So estate planning is at least what it's called in the States. So estate planning is putting things into a specific legal document form where it's protected. It's like an entity. So there are different ways that you can set up banking accounts. You can do it as personal, business, or an entity that can encompass or comprise a lot of different pieces. So estate planning is that more complicated approach where it's an umbrella that holds a lot of assets together and can be tied to a will so that there's clear decisions made on how assets are handled while you're living and after you're living. So that's something that you need to do before you're not able to do it. And so we should all be estate planning throughout our life while we're young and revising it as we age. And it makes life better for everybody. And that's kind of what I'm getting. And make sure that everything aligns. There's no better word that's coming through for that, but make sure that both of you are on the same page for that too, okay? If you're looking at a larger family sort of thing. Why don't we take a look at destiny and see what Spirit has to say? I love it. I quite love this illustration too. So we have 10 of Pentacles coming through. This 10 of Pentacles has a ring of tree, or tree rings, I should say, with family sort of superimposed over the top of it. And then we see someone who, it's not their first rodeo. We have an older person on top, and they're basically showing I made it. And so the future you is coming through, and that's the phrase that I got. We did it. I did it. I haven't watched all of The Comeback, but now I'm also hearing Lisa Kudrow's character. I did it. So you don't have to be that exaggerated, but I do get this emphatic future clarification that this is possible. If there was somebody in your life who says you can't do it, it won't happen, or you shouldn't go down a path, but you feel passionate about it, I see success. This is destiny. So this is the projected view for you right now, and it's pretty darn good. This shows you getting over anything that might be happening financially. It shows the potential to form longer partnerships. And we see longevity at the top, but also each of those rings represents the work that it takes. Sometimes we're on a 10-year plan for that goal, or a 10-week or a 10-month, but give it time. It's not all in the 7-day forecast that we're kind of looking at here. It's a little past that. If you keep putting in the work, it will pay off, okay? The other thing that I'm hearing here is like through thick and through thin. So we also want to be paying attention to partnerships that have been with us through the thickest, through the thinnest, through the most challenging moments, okay? I'd like to look at 2 more things, and then we're going to go into maybe one of the secondary topics that didn't win. So overall, I'd like to ask Spirit what it is right now that you absolutely can't ignore. What's the focal point? If you step away with nothing else from today's reading. All right, so we have the 2 of Swords. It's reversed. You can't ignore something in your life anymore. If someone has done something so many times that it just feels like, what are we doing? Why is this happening again? Then this is saying you have to kind of eventually deal with it, call it out, embrace it, make some better choices. This is also the journalist card, the inquisitive card, where what I like to do for myself is ask myself questions. So if you end up in a tricky situation, why did this happen? What am I learning? What do I need to do to take action in this moment? Do I need to take action? Like, ask those questions before you freak out. And then when you have fearful thoughts that have been programmed, you can't do this. Why can't I do this? When will I do this? I'm doing this. Here's how I'm going to do this. You go through all of the questions. If somebody ignores you, it's a form of communication. So severing ties, not communicating, cutting off, ghosting, that's a very indirect form of cord cutting. But if it persists and the person never answers, put your energy into something else, okay? And if you need more support, say, I don't think you're listening. I don't actually think you heard this. Here's what I'm trying to say. Or that's not what I said. Then raise your hand and say, this is being taken out of context. There's something here where you see it and you can make the connection, but if there's someone around you that refuses, like kind of like putting their hands in their ears, refuses to listen, don't spin your wheels. Put that energy on something or someone else. And what's on the corner? What's around the bend here? 7 of Wands. So I still am getting a lot of energy around success here. This is the card that's right after 6 of Wands. The other thing here is that we can see that she's receiving, but not immediately deciding. So she's thinking to herself, they want this, that person complained about that, this person just never stops talking. She hasn't yet taken action. She's going to choose how to best do it and say yes, no, or please stop. But she's not losing her cool. And I like that. So make some time for meditation, especially now. That'll help get you back into your power and help you not sort of continually spin your wheels, right? Okay. Now we made it to the bonus, or we're going to make it to the bonus. I believe I believe in us. So we're going to take a look here at a bonus portion. And for this bonus portion, let's look at some of the things that didn't win and see if there's one of those that calls to me in this moment in time. All right. So the compass, the roads to expansion, that was the second biggest one. I feel like that would be good. So we never really get like moving beyond difficulty. But let's look at this. So expansion. Let's see what it is right now that you can connect to get more of it, like whatever it is that you're trying to expand. What's the message around expansion? Is it close? Is it going to happen? Okay. So in the the past here, we have again a card around discernment. So the Two of Pentacles in the reverse position is someone that's trying to be everything to everyone and everywhere at once, which is not possible unless you are astrally projecting or some sort of deity. We're not going to be able to do it all for everybody, and we're not going to be able to be everywhere at once. So take some time, make some choices, say no to what you need to say no to. That's going to bring you the ability to have more expansion and more abundance. And then when we're checking in on how abundant are you, one thing that also could be holding you back is spinning your wheels. Five of Wands, especially if it's a job or a relationship, especially when it's reversed. It's not as much, it's more work than it's worth. Let's put it that way. You're putting in a lot, you're getting very little. There could also be unnecessary competition or conflict. And this is encouraging you in this moment to just say, you know what? I don't think I need to do this. You're going to pick and choose your battles wisely. And this isn't it. There might be something that's better worth your time and better worth your energy. And then as we look at the future and we're looking at expansion, we have the Queen of Cups. She's really taking time to drink it all in and spend time with the people that she loves. So relationships keep coming through time and again as a point of priority. So if you've been wanting to spend more time with your children, with your pets, with your friends, or just on your own because you need to sort of like do a little bit of self-love and self-care, that's absolutely what we have here with the Queen of Cups. Some good news energy with the Queen of Cups. Oftentimes this represents the receipt of something positive, more love, more relationship energy wanting to come through. This is one of the key areas that you can expand in. And if you do want to apply this energy to work or personal development, when you love it, you can do it much faster. So if you're not feeling the love, if you're not feeling something, then don't spin your wheels. Because the previous card, the Five of Wands, oftentimes is that spinning of the wheels, right? Okay. Thank you for helping us meet the goal. I knew we would get that. I'd like to do some real-time channeling and real-time card pulling and see if there's anything else that is wanting to make itself come through or apparent. Feel free to speak up if there is something that you want me to look at too, but let's see what's going on here. All right, we'll go to a different deck and tune in. Really need to focus on. Okay, what is it right now that you need to focus on but you're not? So the Ace of, and I love this Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands came through to remind you to do something to spark imagination. When was the last time that someone said, like, what's your dream? What's your goal? What would make you happy? If it's been a minute, I'm asking, what is it right now that you think, if I could be anywhere except here, if I could be anywhere except what I'm doing in my life right now, what would I be doing instead? Why am I not doing that right now? What can I do to affect or create more of that into my life? Because, again, the act of dreaming is an act of creation, and it opens the door to possibilities, right? Try not to overthink. Some of you may be so focused on, can it happen? Will it be the way that I want it? Why am I not seeing more? All of these sort of questions and fears and persistent thoughts that are popping through your head that you may be missing. Again, the big picture, or the ability to really see that it's much, much closer. I love this card because she just goes for it. If we look at it in the upright position, it's the Mary Tyler Moore card. I might just make it after all. She's done everything that she needs to do, and she's just tossing it out into the world because it's good. It's great. Not just good enough, it's exactly what it needs to be. The friend that I'm staying with, we talked about our own personal journeys with perfection, and there does come a point where you just realize that you don't have to be perfect. It's so much closer than you think, whatever it is that you're focusing on, okay? Let me see if there's some other stuff that we can look at right now. So I want to look at a component of some of these, which is, let's see, What's the most difficult or challenging thing in your life? Think about it, and I'm going to look at a solution. So this is a little bit of a, not necessarily a final question, but I'm asking you to think and meditate on it. And I want to look at your difficult situations, plural, but think of one. Each one of you think of one, and I'm going to look at the group energy around it. Okay, I'm going to pull this next one. So, starting things off here, we have King of Swords. The King of Swords, for whatever challenge is in front of you, is saying words are powerful. They can be a weapon. They can be a blessing. Don't be afraid to sometimes speak up. I had a situation just the other day when I was flying, and it was taking my luggage a second to come through. We were in a line, and there was like 5 people, and we've been waiting 30 minutes, and I did find my luggage. But there was two random people that just cut in and started talking, and I just had to... No one else was speaking up, so I said, I'm sure you didn't see it, but there's a line behind you. It starts there. And then one time someone said, this is for such and such a... I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm flying, and so are all of us. And they were like, well, you need to get to the back of the line then. So sometimes you have to speak up twice. I had to tell that person not to do it, and the other person, wait, we're all here for the same thing. And I noticed a bunch of people that day were kind of sneaky and tricky and trying to sneak in. And sometimes you just have to speak up and say, wait a second. I'm nice, but I'm not a pushover. Get your turn in line. One size does not suit all when it comes to communication. So that was a very direct form of communication. Not cruel. I wasn't combative. I was just stating facts. Excuse me, I think you've missed this line. You need to get at the back. And then the other, no, we're actually here. So 2 corrections, and then the person welcomed me and said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I said, don't worry. So you didn't have to make a big deal about it. But we talked about the verbal flow that was coming out for some of you where it shouldn't. We also want to be mindful of this. So be direct, keep it concise, and try not to be too emotional. I think that's going to save everybody this week. Just say what needs to be said as a flat fact. And that will help you out, okay? Clarity, conciseness, and kindness go a long way. Try to avoid distraction right now. The Magician card in the reverse position is showing sometimes there's shiny things, distracting things, frustrating things, and it's hard to work your magic when you're torn in like 15 different directions, right? So part of the discernment is the decision, again, I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do this. I think that's so important, right? Also, believe in yourself. I believe in you, and I believe that everybody that comes here is trying to better themselves and work on themselves. It's completely normal to have a little bit of self-doubt or fear, but you're connected. And when you're connected and you believe in your power, that's when it actually happens. We use the word magic, but it's just a description for things that we don't understand, a new truth waiting to be uncovered and discovered. But it's always been there. So if you just believe, believing is seeing, believing is manifesting. That's key. This card keeps on coming up. We have the Tower in the reverse position. Much like I said with the daily, this is an act of divinity. Sometimes when things are completely shaken up, you are no longer meant to be in that relationship, in that job, doing that habit or that style of whatever. It's sort of like, enough. And so embracing the finality of this, because we also got the Death card in the Wheel of Fortune at one point in this reading, and so it's changed for the better. I forgot to say it at that moment, but if you get like Death plus 6 of Wands or Death plus the Wheel of Fortune, if it's death followed by a positive aspect, whatever's falling away, whatever's changed or is changing, so be it. It's exactly what needs to be exiting stage right or left. It's now your chance to move on. And I love this. This is helping us deal with the changes in our life and the challenges in our life. So we have the 8 of Cups. You don't need to have it all solved today. Take a break, get some perspective, take a nap, take a month, whatever time you can buy yourself. Getting distance from the challenge in front of you will allow you to see more than one solution. Also, if something just happened, You just got married. You just moved into a new house. You just got divorced. You just lost someone. You just moved to a new country. You will not be able to see the situation. In the case of loss or grief, a few months. Same thing when you've started or stopped something. It's so ingrained in your rhythm, like your circadian rhythm, your thought process, your auric field, that when you disconnect from it, there's a discombobulating feeling. You feel not grounded. The best thing that you can do is to find some new habits. So like when I first quit my corporate job a long time ago, back in 2015, I had to create a schedule after leaving it because I was very used to it. I thought, I'm going to wake up at this time, I'm going to do this, I'll spend this much time on that. I don't need that anymore, but for a time it helped because having consistency could be, very key. So this is a card of cycles, which is why I'm talking about all of that. Create a new cycle if you need to. Release an old one if you want to. And give yourself ample time to make decisions in your life. Some of you really deserve a vacation or a break. And if you haven't had one in a minute or two, please, please, please give yourself time. What you need right now. Okay. I'm looking at the chat right now to see if there's anything else that's going on. Yeah, so also living situation. We can pull a few cards for a couple of things, and then I'm going to get into the final card in a minute. But if you're looking for a home or looking for a job, I want to look at both of those. Okay, they're both good. So for those of you that are looking for a home or a better living situation, we have the Page of Pentacles. It's a card of communication and listening. If you need to work with a different realtor or agent, or if you're talking to a landlord and you're feeling like this isn't it, I want you to really pay attention to the communication process. Also, how you think and what you say. Today, imagine that your luck is changing and something great is on the horizon. Don't get more than you can handle. As I look at this Page of Pentacles, that's just the right amount. So really ask yourself, if you're stretching for square footage or whatever, even just the finances, it's what you want, but it costs this much. Do I need it? Will this be what I need it to be, or is it just expenditure? So there's that. If you're looking for a job, King of Pentacles in the reverse position. They might either want more experience or, interestingly enough, I never realized that this is a problem, but you might be too experienced and you might not want to advertise the age. I do know that, but sometimes you can have too many things on a resume, so you might want to lop off part of it and put just relevant jobs. And let's say you're 20 or 30 years into your career. No one cares what sorority or fraternity or what extracurricular you were doing in college. They may not even need to know your GPA. They might just need to know where you went to school. And then they're going to want to see initiatives, projects, things that you've been able to do, and then maybe the last 10 years or so of corporate experience. You're going to have to look at each market. They'll want different things. But sometimes if you have too deep of a resume, like it's showing 30 years and 15 places, and it's too much. So edit, combine, cut out some of that stuff, because some people are looking at age or experience and there can be too much. And they're like, we can't afford you. So if you want to willingly do something that's different, take a cut and just say, yeah, but I can afford you. And I want to do this because I'm passionate about this, this, and this. So you might have to have that conversation. I mean, they may even bring it up. Why is someone so experienced looking for a role like this? Be ready for that question. There's no right or wrong answer, but you can say something like growth, opportunity, environment, effect that it's having on the world around it. So find a good answer. Also, some of you might want to go back to school. The guide said this is just the tip of the iceberg, so there's a lot of options in front of you. It doesn't have to be a traditional degree. There could be fellowship, mentorship, internship. There could be other ways to learn it, and it will give you a lot of skills. So yes, school is one thing, but the guides are like, that's just the tip of the iceberg. And if you want something, go for it, and absolutely advocate for your worth. But be willing and ready to say, I'm worth it because of XYZ. I'm glad that some of you are kind of like confirming what I was picking up on there. Chopping off years. I would not, like when you're young and younger, you really want to, like it's almost like you're padding it with everything. But as you get into it, you start doing less or combining companies or combining areas. So you would say like I was a CEO of this amount of company. Like it becomes more of like groupings and topics and then big things that you've done. So work with a specialist. There are people that do that. And because we want to stay abreast of the times, there are techniques that you can use to make it AI and basically e-friendly. So like computers read things differently and you want to make sure that the keywords that are necessary and best are a part of that. So there you go. All right, so let me see if there's anything else that Spirit wants to convey. That was what I was picking up on there. All right. Is there one last thing before we go into meditation? Just re-emphasizing choices. It's give and it's take. If you're constantly taking, you need to give a little. If you're constantly giving, you need to ask for a little bit more. And it's also about compromise. What's best for the two of you? What's best for everyone? Finding the middle ground and knowing that that is going to be worth the negotiation and worth the ride. Okay, so let's get ready for meditation. I'd like you to close your eyes for a moment. And as you're getting ready to meditate, really set the intention in this moment that you are safe and you are supported. If there's anyone or anything in your life where you haven't felt that, let that disappear now. The image that's coming through is a warm sandy beach, a beach blanket on the beach, and you just sinking into it. The sand is cupping your back, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, everything under the padding of the blanket, and it's just feeling amazing. It's like this heat blanket that's warming you up, that's absorbing everything that you don't need. And you take a couple of cosmic, beautiful breaths and just let it all go. The next thing that I'm seeing is the beautiful sun overhead shining down, creating a sense of protection, recharging, and just absolute love. Warming up your heart in particular, because passion creates abundance in your life. So whatever it is that you've shut off in your heart in this moment in time, Spirit is coming through and saying, let's chip away at the ice. Let's open up right now. And now I'd like you to make a single wish for something that you want to see in your life. And imagine that as you're making that wish, you get the answer, that immediate sense that it's already here. All I have to do is align to it. So set your heart in the direction that you feel that connection. And each and every day of the next 7 days, know that you're taking one step closer to that goal or that dream. When you're ready, take a natural exhale. I'd like you to focus on a final question. Sleep on it. Okay, we have the Four of Swords. If you ask me a yes or no, it's not yet. It's not a hard no, it's just a not yet. The other thing is, if you've been waiting and waiting and waiting and someone isn't getting back to you, they've either forgotten about it, they're passing on you, this is for like job seekers, or they're flaky, they're not worth it. So the Four of Swords is a form of communication, which is, I don't want to talk. So focus on something else. For yourself, this is about quality and quantity of sleep. It's about not working yourself to exhaustion, and it's encouraging you to turn a new page. That's what they showed me, like ripping an old page out, the guides, and then like turning a new page. We're not repeating the past at all. We're focusing instead on something new. What are your dreams? Four of Swords connects you to spirit. Reaffirm what your goals and dreams are, and this is the moment to really step powerfully into those. Okay? Thank you so much for being patient. I'm still a little tired because I barely, it's a long flight. It was like a 10-hour flight, and I've been busy getting a lot of things set up, so the past couple of days have been busy. So a week from now, everything will be sorted out a little bit more, but I've wanted to consistently show up for the dailies, and I'm going to start to record the monthlies. We're just going straight to August for obvious reasons. I'm going to try to record all of those this week. And I'm sharing this office with somebody, so I'll try to get stuff done earlier. And so I have deadlines, which are a good thing. So thank you all for being patient and understanding, because I'm still a little jet lagged. It's such a difference in time when you're like 9 hours different. Your body doesn't know what to do for a good week. So I'm a little tired today, but it'll get better as we move forward. So thank you for understanding. Okay, I'd like to take a couple of moments now just to do some housekeeping. So first of all, this is very close because I'm on the front camera. I'm actually not going to do all of these because I don't have time to change it up. But if you'd like to show some support, you can like, subscribe, join me on social media, sign up for the newsletter, or give back right here with all of the super stickers and super chat. And all of the links to all of this, I will fix this one link as we're talking, can be found on my website. So feel free, if you'd like to learn more about me, to go there. And everything that you need is going to be found there. So you can find all relevant links from my website. So we're going to keep it easy today. And I wanted to just celebrate the fact that I made it here. I'm still here. You're still here. We're still doing this. And here's to new chapters in our lives. I'd also like to show some appreciation and thanks for everybody that showed up today. So let's take a couple of moments to give some shout outs. Okay, I'd like to begin with all of those who gave back. So 1 second, fan funding, here we go. Thank you, Georgia, for being a member and also for giving a sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you, Tahoe, good to see you, my friend. You've been here many, many moons, and I appreciate you, so thank you for the sticker and for the membership. Teresa, thank you for the sticker and membership. Georgia, thank you for the sticker and membership. Paula, thank you for the kind triple 11s. Actually, 11s everywhere. I appreciate that. It's very, very kind, very sort of generous, and it goes a long way. MPS Lehman, thank you so much. Good to see you, my friend. And I think I skipped everything at the front, so I'm going to the front. All right, celebrating 4 months of membership. Marie, thank you very much. Good to see you. I barely got in here, but I did take a walking, my friend gave me a little bit of a tour of all the places, so I'm loving it, but I'm just getting my bearings, and there's a lot to take in. So ask me again in a week, and I'll be more rested and better able to say it, but loving it. Water Girl, welcome so much. Welcome back to the channel. I can see that you've been a member before. It's good to have you back. DAS, SAI, Saka, thank you so much for your kind contribution and for being a member. Thank you, S. Lynn, for gifting a few memberships. I'll have to see in a moment. I might have some to gift. So I'm going to open this in a separate browser while we're talking, and we'll do a little look-see on that. All right, in addition to...
Ask me again in a week.
Sorry, that's me talking in the background. Let me see if I can gift anything here. Membership gifting. Yeah, for those that are sticking around, you just got some additional memberships. Okay, back to all of this. Okay. So, Kim K7131, thank you so much for your kind contributions. Melanie Morris, thank you so much for your sticker and membership. And Eslin, also thank you for being a member and giving a membership. PJ Good, thank you for the multiple stickers and for being a member. I appreciate it. Kayla, thank you for being a member and for the sticker. Congrats, PJ, for 17 months of membership. Much appreciated. Eslin, I'm glad that you're having an amazing day. Thank you for 41 months of membership and all the stickers. I see it and appreciate it. Yolanda, thank you so much for your sticker. PJ Good, thank you again for the sticker and membership. Marianne, I think it is Marianne. Thank you so much for your sticker, Taksumika, and for the membership. PJ Good, thank you again. Multiple times in a row. Georgia, thank you. PJ, thank you. All of you that did the repeat ones, you're the ones that allow us to do the extended portion. So thank you very much. OWO or OWHO, thank you very much for your kind contribution and for being a member for a while. I appreciate that. Catherine, thanks for the sticker. 27 months. Oh my gosh. Institutionalized 88. Thank you so much. I'm glad that I'm here too. And yes, lots and lots of changes. Natural. I'm just going to say natural. Thank you so much for being a member and for rejoining or re-upping today. I appreciate that. Lily, thank you very much. Good to see you too. We'll bring Apollo up at the very end to say hi. Teresa, thank you so much for the sticker and membership. Georgia, thank you again for multiple stickers and for the membership. Again, to PJ for the same thing. Thank you for the stickers and membership. ACU Sculpt, thank you so much, and for the good luck wishes. I appreciate it. Shelly Williams, thanks for being a longtime member for the sticker and for the membership. Georgia, thank you again. Nikki, thank you for the sticker. Thank you for the Spanish flags there. Jeannie, I appreciate it. Good to see you. Thanks for being a very long time member. PJ Good, good to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for the multiple stickers today. Teresa, thanks for the sticker and membership. Tahoe, thank you again for an additional sticker. Apollo's kind of barking in the background, which is funny. He's asleep. Teresa Dorn, thank you again. And I think I have covered everyone else. No, a couple more at the end. My Little Margie, thank you for 58 months of membership. That's insane, but in a good way. And welcome to everybody that received a membership from me. And that, my friends, is everything for today. I'm going to wrap up, but let's bring Apollo up, or I'll see if I can wake him up, and then I'm going to get a little bit of tea or something before I do the daily. Hey, Apollo. Everyone wants to say hi, but I'm going to let you just relax here. Maybe we'll turn you around so they can see you. Yes, who's a good boy? He's hidden behind the chair. Maybe I can pull you up for just a second. Come on, let's say hi. Oh, who's a good boy? There we go. He's had a long day with a lot of walking as we've been exploring things. So he's like, Dad, I'm barely awake. Me too, Apollo. Me too. Thank you, everybody, for all the love and support. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. Thank you for being patient as I've been getting caught up. It takes time to make, I know, Apollo, me too, to make these changes. So both of us are going to maybe try to stay awake for a couple hours and then get to sleep because clearly we're tired. Lots of love and light to all of you. Take care. I'll see you again. Same time, for the next 3 or 4 weeks, same place. Then hopefully I will be finding a place that I can stay for a while. Lots of love to all of you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.